let's create some warm ambiance. So I've got a sponge cake, some more sponge cake, some jasmine peach Fanta. It tastes like, you know those peach gummy rings? That's exactly what it tastes like, specifically the ones from Dollar Tree. If you know, you know. Alright, now, let's get to chatting. Also, this is like a new setup. Hello, this is old. Do not pay attention to that. That was from my birthday, which was like 3 weeks ago. So, I really want to talk about, and I'm going to try to talk about this without yelling, because when I get passionate, I get passionate. But I want to talk about the importance of going on self-dates. This year has been one hell of a year. It started off kind of mid, then it went to high, then it got higher, and then all of a sudden it just went, yeah. But during that time of like going from a low to a high, I was able to work on myself and my mental health, which has been such a blessing in my life. But within that time frame, especially during the summer, I learned how to take myself out, how to date myself. And it's something that I feel like is so important when trying to figure out how to appreciate your worth and your beauty, especially as a woman, and especially when you feel lonely or isolated, because I felt all these things within my time as a 23-year-old, single, by the way, as a single 23-year-old, in college and away from my home state. I definitely feel isolated and alone plenty of times. So, what do I mean by self-dating? I mean, I go out to do fun things that I want to do by myself, as if I was going on a date. So I dress up, I do my makeup, I do my hair, I look pretty, I usually wear a pair of heels, and time I've been at college, I was always like, people are judging me because I'm alone. People are like, she has no friends. That is not true. I actually do have friends. I just don't hang out with them that often, or our schedules just don't align as frequently as I would like. However, nobody's really caring about your life that much because they're so focused on their own insecurities and their own relationships with their own people. Every now and then you may get like someone out of the blue that's just jealous or something, and they might say something, but do not take that to heart. You just hear it, ignore it, and be like, that's what you think, and move on. And so I went to the movies on my own. I took my blanket, I bought some snacks, I bought a drink, and I sat there, reclined, watched the movie, which is a phenomenal movie, by the way. It literally made me cry. And I had a great time at the movies. And afterwards, I decided, I was like, I actually want this date to go on a little longer because I was enjoying my time. So I took myself on a little drive to a park that had the prettiest view of the sun setting. And luckily, I had my journal with me. So what did I do? I whipped out that journal, took out my pen, and started journaling about how I was feeling. And it was a really fun day for me, so I was journaling to capture those emotions and those memories. And then, as I watched the sunset, I decided to whip out my other journal because I also had it on hand. And I just started writing lyrics for a song. I am not a songwriter. I've never done that before. But I was like, I want to do something new. And I was feeling so inclined to just write a song. It is not the best song. It is still a work in progress. But I was stretching my creativity because that was something that I wanted to do. And on a date, you do what you want to do. So, when I went home that day, I felt so loved, so refreshed. And I was like, now I know what the treatment that I expect when I go on an actual date. If I have the capability to treat myself like that, why can't a man or a woman or whoever your significant other is going to be like, why couldn't they treat you like that? And I think one of the most important things to do when you do a self-date is to journal afterwards, so you can write what you learned about yourself, what you learned about how others should treat you, and then what you would like to do for next time, because this creates a habit and it helps you visually see what your worth is and how valued you are and how beautiful you are. Like, I definitely think my confidence has grown by taking myself on more self-dates, and when I'm feeling very low and I plan a self-date, then I know I have something to look forward to by like the end of the week. These things do not have to be expensive. If you don't have the money, like, guys, I'm broke, I'm a college student, you know I got no money. These do not have to be expensive. If you're a homebody, then stay home. One thing that I like to do when I stay home is do like arts and crafts. I'll put on like my comfort movie or some comfort songs, you know, put on some DComs and just do a cute arts and craft. Draw, doodle, paint, bake. Baking is fun. Or just have a journaling session. It really helps when you feel like you have no one to talk to. You just write down all your secrets on there and you're just like, oh, it has been a really good experience. But all of this is just to say that when life gets hard, and it will get hard, life is always hard, it's always difficult, it's always challenging, but we can take those challenges and we can make them opportunities and hopefully see our lives in a new lens. By taking yourself on these self-dates, you are raising your standards as to how you should be treated. Treat yourself the way you've always wanted to be treated, because you don't have to rely on someone else to do that. You can do it yourself. It's okay to be strong for yourself right now, because I know with confidence that in the future I will have someone eventually that will care for me the way I care for myself. But for right now, I can be strong for myself. And I feel like that's something that I've really been clinging on to these last few weeks, because life has just been like one challenge after another, and I'm sick and tired. But I'm getting through. I would much rather learn from my trials than just stay in a low for like the rest of my life and let that thing drag me down. It's okay to be sad, it's okay to be angry for a moment, but then I need to like pick myself up and take the lesson that I learned and grow from it. And I feel like that's something that's super important. I feel like it's something that can be utilized more within your life, especially as a young adult and especially in college. Take that as you will. Also,